Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Final Bet Carnival season, now in our rearview mirror. Hope it was a good one for you. We are a part of your recovery. Garland Gillen, I'm Juan Kincaid. LSU head football coach Lane Kiffin, a co-grand marshal of Endymion, and he hasn't even coached a game yet. First off, you got a chance to talk to him at the extravaganza. How'd that go?
Seems like he had a great time. It was a long day though for him, and I interviewed him at 10 o'clock at night. He had been on that float since 3:30, and he was I love the haters out on social media. He's wearing a hoodie and he's got the OBJ jersey and his hat backwards, and he's 50 years old. Like, let the man just dress how he wants to dress. So just so much, obviously X is a toxic place, formerly Twitter, but I thought he was in good spirits. It's February. There's no wins and losses just yet. So, he was a good sport. Helena Moreno, the mayor, gave him a public decree, gave one to Arthur Hardy also, got to talk to him for 3 minutes on live television on the extravaganza. So I think he's good to go. I
think he's settled in as LSU's head coach really well. All right, let's get to tonight's opening line. Speaking of LSU, hype in 2026, LSU baseball on track for greatness again, and a World Cup 2026 preview. Let's begin with LSU Athletic Director Verge Osbury told Matt Moscona on his radio show that there's 44,000 people on the waiting list for season tickets. That is quite impressive. I believe the Lane train is full capacity right now.
Yeah, and I will say this, the schedule is also pretty awesome too when you have Alabama and Texas back-to-back games in November. But I think everybody's just got so excited, about this transfer portal haul and the recruiting class together. It's #1 in America if you take them together. He's like an absolute titan on X. They had a big release this morning about the top 25 college sports Twitter handles, and Lane Kiffin was the only coach that was in there. It was mostly just content creators, writers. It was Lane Kiffin. Everything he does, Juan, as I was talking about on Saturday Night Extravaganza, is under a microscope. Anything he does, goes to the beach, does hot yoga. They're all excited about it. LSU put a lot of money into his contract. He's getting paid $13 million a year. Ran Brian Kelly out. So there's so much hype around this program. I've told people on the parade route, I don't know if they're going to win or lose this year, but it's going to be interesting every day.
And that really is the key part of it. Can all of this hype carry over to the field? He did well at Ole Miss, got them to the College Football Playoff this year, obviously before he left. So LSU fans want nothing less than that in year one.
Yeah, Sam Leavitt is one of the top quarterbacks, the top quarterback on a lot of the rankings, and he got him in the fold. Now he is dealing with a Liz Frank injury, which means he can only use 7-on-7 in the spring, will not do full team drills. But you have your quarterback. You got Jordan Seaton, your left tackle, that you paid a lot of money to get him also. My understanding, $3.5, maybe $4 million. Then you got Princewell Umanmielen, the edge out of Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin coached him last year. I expect him rack up almost double-digit sacks. So you got some big guys that you brought in. Whit Weeks is returning. Yeah. That is a biggie. So you have him. You got Braylon Moore on the offensive line also. You got to redo the entire.
Got your running backs back?
Yeah. Gave Harlan Berry lots of money to get him to come back in the fold. So you have this $40 million roster, and so, yes, I think they can equate it to the field. The over-under win total is 9.5 right now.
We do know that Brian Kelly spent a lot of money last year, and we saw how that worked out. The hope is, the belief is that Lane Kiffin, under his leadership, this team can do a lot better with what they have on the field this fall. Meanwhile, what position are you satisfied the most with? What's kind of been filled in properly?
Yeah, so Whit Weeks is returning, which is a biggie. I think it also helped that Lane Kiffin's daughter, Landry, is dating Whit Weeks. Might want to stay an extra season to be with his girlfriend. Understand that. You had Devon Keys locked in at the other spot. Well, then in the transfer portal, they get TJ Daugherty out of Ole Miss, who had 97 tackles this past season. He has the highest amount of tackles returning of any player in the SEC this coming 2026 season. So you have 3 starters for 2 positions. Now, Weeks has dealt with injuries in the past, so I can understand why you want 3 starters there. But Devon Keys had a strong season last year. So between the 3 of those guys, I'm really happy what they have on the roster. Harold Perkins is now out of the fold. He has graduated. So now it's time for those guys to step out of the shadow. Whit Weeks, the shadow of injuries, I think you would more go with.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now, of course, when you have all these players coming in, that means you had some holes to fill. Where's the weakness still?
Well, we talked about it last year, the offensive line. It was one of the worst offensive lines LSU has ever had.
And hang on, let me stop you for a second. And that was an area that Brian Kelly focused on in the previous transfer portal.
Yeah,
He still didn't get it right.
He got maybe one right
Yeah.
at center, and he's returning, and Braylon Moore, who they got from Virginia Tech. And then you got Jordan Seaton coming in at left tackle. But after that one, you got a lot of dudes that have been unproven. You do have one starter out of Maryland that's coming down here. He might get the right guard spot. But there is a lot of unknowns with that offensive line. And you won't have Sam Levitt at the controls doing team drills until the summertime in fall ball. So that's the spot where I'm really worried on the offensive line.
There's got to be a belief, though, that get into the end of summer, into fall football, that's enough time for Sam Levitt to get up to speed.
Yeah, and
you're not stressed about not doing anything in the spring.
Yeah, we talked about this before. You know, Miami's quarterback missed all of spring footballs. He recovered with an injury, Carson Beck, and then, hey, they got to the national championship game. He didn't do any of spring. He was dealing with an injury. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's big for Landon Clark to get out there, and Husan Longstreet, the other two quarterbacks. They're going to get a lot of team drills this year. And Levitt can do some 7-on-7, and he'll be there every step of the way watching how Charlie Weiss Jr. makes the play calls. So I'm not worried about it right now.
I think it really is important LSU can sort out who that backup is going to be, knowing that if Levitt goes down, you've got some quality, some consistency moving into the position as well. There are some big games. Again, 44,000 over the limit of tickets right now. So the fans know there's some big games on the schedule. Which one you have circled?
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to kind of go to the opener. You know, they're going against Davos, Swinney, and LSU's 11.5-point favorites. A&M comes in September, but I got to say it. I mean, you probably know where I'm going with this. Alabama's a huge game in November 7th, but I had somebody come to me on Friday. I saw him in the French Quarter for Locals Friday. He's from Texas. He's already got his flight booked for Baton Rouge. He wants to go to the Texas Longhorns game. That is going to be, I mean, Arch is coming back to the state of Louisiana to play a game. The first time he's done that since he lost to U-High in the state playoffs when he was at Newman. I think that one's going to have a lot of buzz. The Alabama game will have buzz. I don't think this is going to be one of the better teams that Alabama will have.
But we thought that last year, too, and look what their quarterback did.
Yeah, you're right. And now he's out into the pros. So now they have some guys that are coming in, Alabama. So I don't know, if they got the dude. We'll see. I got it wrong. I was wrong on Ty Simpson this past year. So I'm not going to go all out and say that the quarterbacks they have in there aren't that good. But we know what we have at Texas Longhorns with Arch Manning, a quarterback, and then Cam Coleman, who they reportedly paid $2 to $3 million out of Auburn to be the number one wide receiver. So you have him. So you're really excited about Texas. So if there's one game that you would circle on the schedule, that's probably going to be the most expensive. You go on SeatGeek or one of those ticket apps. I think that's going to be the most expensive.
Yeah.